instead of for what it was. The big brouhaha we have with the $4,100 lien that they had removed in a bogus board meeting, that they added an item to an agenda, even though the chairman of that meeting was the beneficiary of that item that was added to the agenda, and we're being sued by Ilan Weiss, who I have a lot of respect for, taking, he tells me, $40,000 so far out of his pocket to sue the village to collect that $4,100. These guys had an opportunity to pay that $4,100 in the beginning. Instead, they said to us, we're not paying, let him come and get me. He's coming and getting us, all of us. And right now I understand they're talking about settlement to try to show no one did anything wrong. And I don't think that's going to happen. And there was also questionable payments for a gym remodel. I don't know, I'm not an expert, but I understand that the questions are not being answered about the equipment and the warranties, and I don't understand that. And then there seems to be favoritism done to the work in the buildings. You'll notice the buildings that have been fixed are buildings that our prime suspects here are in. And I wouldn't have done it that way. I would have done it by just doing the lobbies and the landings and not the hallways, except if it was an emergency. That way we would have gotten around with the same money to, anyway, that was, and then finally the biggie is allowing a board member to continue buying units even though he's passed the 4 units. So we need to change. I know, we need to change. Please vote for honesty and transparency and fiscal responsibility. Thank you.
Please, guys, can you
there's people in the back that are also talking out of turn. Why did you come about that? I can't hear that.
Okay, but we're not here for that. We're not here for that. We're just here to hear the candidates, and that's it. No arguing, no fussing, please. I stressed that in the beginning. Yes, ma'am. Okay? Yes, yes.
Once we're done.
Once we're done. Okay? So can we please just keep it down, please, please? I stressed that in the beginning. Can we just keep it down, please? So far, so good. It's going well. No arguing, no fighting, please. No yelling, no shouting. We're not here for that. Okay? Thank you. Okay, number 8. Yeah, I'm going to adjust the microphone. Because everybody's voice is different, so I have to adjust the microphone. Okay, number 8. 8.
I guess that's me. My name is Joe Frederick. I've been here a resident for 10 years, my wife and I. And I will apologize. Some of you may know I just had major surgery on my neck, so my voice is very weak, and I still have a lot of swelling. So the doctor said no long speeches, so this will be short. I know everybody on this board for years now, for the most part, and I guess it really saddens me to see everybody screaming and yelling at each other. I know it happens. It's happened in the past. It's happened to me. But you think after a while we would learn to work together, because that's what it's going to take. If I get on the board, there are some things that I think need to be worked on. One is the budget. Okay, whatever side you believe the budget should be, the 2 different versions that are out there, both of them still show a deficit. We need good accounting controls. I'm all for remodeling buildings. I live in a building that was condemned for a month. We were forced to leave after Wilma. And nothing's been done to that building. It was the worst building in International Village, that's the Heidelberg. So yeah, I'm for fixing up the buildings, but I want to know where the money's coming from and where it's being spent and how it's being spent. And I want to see it in black and white. We haven't had that opportunity for the most part. The next thing, I've been a big proponent of a maintenance plan. There's been a lot of rumors and emails flying about that the new candidates all want a maintenance increase. Well, you know what? Nobody that sent those emails ever gave me the courtesy to ask me how I felt about a maintenance increase. So here's my answer: absolutely not. In my opinion, our maintenance should be going down. I mean, you spent $10 million on our buildings over the last few years. You would think there'd be a little bit less maintenance. So I don't know. I have fought for a maintenance plan for years, and unfortunately have been unsuccessful doing it. We need to get a company in here that's capable of putting that together for us, because we are not the cure-all to all the issues we have here at the village, and there are many. We need good accounting again on our budget. We need to stop commingling funds. We need to make sure that we're paying down our principal on our using our assessment monies that are coming in. It all needs to be accounted for, and right now I don't feel it's being accounted for properly. So that would be the first thing, because you can't have any increases. You can't spend money without a maintenance increase, and that's not what we want. We have to figure out where the money's coming from. I view the village as a business. Basic parts of our business are raw materials. We buy wood, we buy cement, we buy bricks, all kinds of things. We have real estate, the beautiful property we live on is another part of a business. We have employees, probably about 30 or 40 employees, that's another part of a business. And a business makes a product. And our product is one thing, a quality of life for all of us. And that's what I want to ensure that we still have here. Like it was when I first moved here, that made me want to come to the village. When I was working in Boca Raton, Florida, 1 week a month. I couldn't wait to get here, coming from South Jersey, especially this time of year. So I'm going to save my voice for questions, but that's just about it. Thank you.
Number 9.
I guess you can hear me now. Yes. I'm going to be short and sweet because I'm the unknown, unbiased candidate in this whole race. My name is Sharon Trapaccioni, not to be mistaken for Trapani, no relation to Christopher Trapani, and I do live in the village. As a matter of fact, I'm a 15-year resident of Lauderhill. Yes, I do have other residents in the city of Lauderhill. I moved into International Village 2 years ago. I'm going to start with my background because I realized when the packets went out, half of my resume was missing. So for those of you guys that know me, you know me as the manager of the Wells Fargo Bank in Inverary, which I'm not there anymore. And for others, you know me as the manager of Bank Atlantic. I've been in this business for 20 years. I've managed branches for 20 years. I've been in the financial industry for 20 years. Everybody talked about finances, but I don't see anybody that has a real financial background, guys. Give you one example. We have a loan with Wells Fargo Bank. Banks will do what they need to do for their interests. They're not in it for our interests. You need somebody that understands finances. You talk about saving money. Well, I feel I am that person. One reason to vote for me is because I understand finances. Okay, I have a financial background. Thank you.
Number 10.
Hi everyone, I think you might remember me, or at least some of you do. My name is Terry Kloeb. I'm a general contractor, and I've had the privilege of being able to serve on the board for a couple of few years back. I've been gone for about a year, dealing with a little bit of illness in my family, but
thank you, honey.
I'm back again, and some of the friends here, those that I consider good friends here on the board, have asked me to consider serving again to try to help with the construction. And of course, I think in sentiment with everyone seems to be the concern. The concerns are the water, the budget that we're dealing with the water. I'm able to be someone who can go in, help to discover, discern, see where the water problems are. I've talked with Michael about this, and we're at length trying to institute some of these ideas, what he says we're going to need to do. So I'm there to try to help us in that regard, certainly to be able to get the budget down if at all possible. I'd like to see us turn around the maintenance and try to do something with regard. I do have a lot of experience of being able to deal with contracts things like that in order to be able to change some of these things, and that's my intention, again, to be able to try to work hard in doing things like that for you all. And I appreciate what Colette was saying when she spoke about the maintenance, the need for the maintenance, because I certainly have come back, and after we spent close to, well, they say $7 million on the buildings, there's a lot of disrepair that started to demonstrate and show us that. And this is where we need to really be concerned. We all care about the community very much. We're concerned about it, but the buildings are already starting to show a lot of wear, and this is where I feel we need to give that attention. I spent many an hour walking around with George up on top of the buildings myself personally. I know where the problems are. They've talked about the scuppers. They've talked about things like this. So I can certainly aid in all of these areas, and this is where I'd like to, again, offer my services.
Thank you. Number 11, please.
Good evening. Thank you for all showing up. It's a momentous meeting. Why am I here? Who are you? My name is Mark Richmond. I'm a retired physician. Well, I'll ask you again. Why am I here? I've had too good a time in retirement, and I decided I needed some aggravation to spice up my life. If you've come to the various and sundry board meetings and other meetings that have transpired within this hallowed institution, you should be aware by now that things frequently don't go smoothly. There's an underlying reason for that. I'm not sure quite what it is, but there is an underlying reason why things don't go smoothly, and the real problem is they should go smoothly. It's been difficult for the people on this board and preceding boards to compromise with each other and come to a reasonable solution to handle seemingly easy problems, or problems that should be easy. When people start getting dictatorial, when they start becoming argumentative, when they start getting egos involved, when they have special interests involved, it's easy to understand why things don't go smoothly in International Village. It's a pain in the butt for me to keep watching it. Last year, in January, I got dragged into this process by agreeing to become the treasurer. What, you may ask, does a retired physician have to do being treasurer of this monumental institution? In all fairness, that's a very reasonable question, and I can only answer it this way. I take care of my own finances, and I've been extremely successful doing that. Number two, when I retired in 1955, my junior colleagues said, "You can't retire." I said, "I certainly can, and I'm going to." They said, "But you're going to leave us in the lurch." I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "You have to take care of the administrative aspects and the financial aspects of this business," which was approximately 1.2 million gross per year for a two-man office. I said, "Well, make me an offer I can refuse," and they did, and I didn't refuse it because I loved them and I wanted to help them, and I've continued to this day. In the time that I did that, money in, money out, our books were balanced every month to the penny within 10 days after the end of the month. At the end of the year, the books were reconciled and balanced within several weeks. There is absolutely no reason why that should not be done in this place, and it is the last thing that you can get. To find out anything that happened, as many of you know, when you try to check your own records, it takes weeks upon weeks, and even then you don't get a satisfactory answer. I think that's inexcusable. There's absolutely no reason for it, and one of the things I'd like to do, if elected to this place on the board, is to get that ship sailing. Everyone wants to get it sailing in the right direction. That's the right direction that I want, because until we have absolute transparency, financial transparency, this place goes nowhere. And along with that, we need a board that is going to be governed by Robert's Rules of Order. The rules of order are entirely out of place. There should be no questions from the floor at board meetings. There should be a time for people to vent their frustration, and I think we should have special meetings for like an open town hall type of thing, where you people can have at us all night long if you so desire, but not at regular board meetings for shoving and shouting. All I can tell you is, I'm for transparency, I'm for honesty, I got no axe to grind in this place, and I don't need it. And I'll try my best, if you will let me, to do that. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Doug Wolf, and I'm a candidate for the Board of Directors at International Village, as well as a current board member. I have been a permanent resident of International Village since 2001. I decided to run for the board this year for many reasons. Though many positive things were accomplished this past year, there is still much that needs to be done. One issue in particular that is very important to me is the safety and security of Ivy as a whole. A suggestion was made by me a few months back about contacting the Waterhead Police Department about having one of the police officers live here in Ivy. There are city programs that exist where the officer donates a certain amount of hours per week to the community in exchange for a certain portion of his rent being subsidized. At a time when crime seems to be at its highest and the economy at its lowest, this much needed security measure seems long overdue. One of the primary reasons I am also running for the board is to make certain we do not get a raise in maintenance. If elected, I will do everything in my power to stop this from happening. A maintenance increase would set Ivy back significantly. At a time when people are hurting financially and our economy is as weak as it is, this is not the time for a maintenance increase. This will potentially cause even more foreclosures, which will then lead to a possible assessment. As many of you already know, whether I'm on the board or in the audience at a board meeting, I've never once raised my voice, never name-called, and I have proven I always vote my conscience. It is my conscience that has me vowing tonight to ensure voting against any maintenance increases. More and more foreclosure units will get sold this year, and thus that new owner will then begin contributing their share of the maintenance. We will then begin to receive more and more revenue as a result of this. A rush to a maintenance increase at such a devastating economic time will instead perpetuate the problem by ensuring more people who at the moment are just getting by to be forced to opt out of paying their maintenance at all. This will become a profound chain reaction with horrible consequences. I urge you to vote for Doug Wolf, which is a vote for no increase in maintenance. Thank you all very much for your time this evening.
Okay, number 13.
Good evening. My name is Michael. I was Michael Adar. It's not important, Michael. And I'm living in this place for 11 years. And like he said, I came to this place, I fell in love in this place, and I felt I'm the second generation in this place. Can you echo? It's the echo. I fell in love with this place. I fell in love with the people. I'm sorry, after that I got involved with my organization. I was running an organization for $59 million a year. I was dealing with different people and I worked 20 hours a day, but still I love my place. I took my money, I invest in my place. I take my time when I'm coming in the evening to say, hello, how are you? To people that I can see around me. And I believe that this place is not a business. This place is a place, it's called like in old day. There is no place like home. You remember that phrase? There is no place like home. Every time I'm coming home at 8 o'clock, I say, there is no place like home. This is my home. This is my livelihood. And together, it's to move forward. And if nobody understands in this board about the politics, there is need for change. It's not good stability. There is need for new power. In politics, all the time there is change. All the time you choose a good and other people with different ideas. But these people that you choose have to come with knowledge and to understand and with love. the combination about knowledge and love together will bring this place to where in 10 years from now, when I'm going to be in my second stage of my life, I could sell the place and not lose all the money that I invest over there. It's just emotion with my pocket. I want everybody, if you pass away, that your children have value of your place. Maybe if you don't sell the place, but you can give something with value. Please, I don't care who you vote. I don't care what you do. I care that you care about this place. Until today, I couldn't do it for you because I was busy. Eventually, between job now, I have the time, and as all my life I was doing for other people. I was officer in the Israeli army. I was involved in the politics in the United States. I did many things in my life. I believe to help where people like to do it together. It's not me, it's you and me. And you and me together, by seeing the truth, by asking the right question, by the understanding that the people who are working here in the administration, they are working for us, and we pay them for that. And if they don't do a good job, we replace them. And if they do a good job, we pay them more. This is the way to run a business. All together, with your value, with your influence, to go to your neighbor and ask your neighbor, please vote. Because if only 20% of the people in the village vote, it just shows that there is 20% of interest in the place. Let's invite everybody to voice his voice, and to make this place the most wonderful place in Lauderdale, and I love to say in Florida too. Thank you.
Last but not least, number 14.
We love this place, but
Good evening, citizens of International Village. Most of you know me. My name is Stuart Wolf. I've lived in the village for over 10 years. The reason I decided to run for the board was to improve the quality of life of the residents and make International Village back to being the jewel of Embry. I have 40 years of management experience in finance, credit, and collections in the New York City area. I also possess a BS degree in management and finance from New York University. I served on the board for 3 years and was treasurer for a short time and stopped the purchase of the board of directors, which incorrectly was utilizing financial money to make these purchases. I served on the sales and lease committee, the budget committee, and the finance committee, and I've always been available. I also helped interview for various positions with other members of the board after I was off the board. I developed, when I was on the board, a very good credit and collection procedure which was taken over and was very much improved by the current administration, and I think they've done an excellent job of collecting money. I consider myself a man of the people, and I believe that the board must work together and in harmony and drop all the negative political infighting and do things for the good of the village and not for personal gain. There are many shortfalls in the village, but as I told all the people that are campaigning to be on the board, don't say that so-and-so is bad, so-and-so is a thief, so-and-so is no good. Tell them what you are and how good you're going to be. And let's stop this, especially at board meetings, because I think it's just totally inappropriate. If elected, again, my objective is to improve the quality of life of the village and improve things for everyone. Also, I'm against a maintenance increase on any increase of the people right now, because I feel what that'll do is it'll put more people in foreclosure and make the situation more unbearable than it is. Again, thank you for coming, and I appreciate it. And in closing, I would tell you that I'm probably the only, with the exception of Michael also, to my right, independent candidate who has no affiliation with any groups whatsoever. Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to open up the floors for questions. Here how it's gonna go. We'll have a break. Okay? 5 minutes. We're gonna get a 10 minutes break. And then you guys go for coffee, drinks over here on your left. And then after that we'll come back and ask questions. You guys want me to ask the rest of the audience a question, and I believe they have 3 minutes. 3 questions is it? 3 questions. Okay, and 2 minutes in or 3 minutes in? 2 questions, 3 minutes. Okay? 3 questions?
No, each person. Each person.
3 questions, 2 minutes. Okay?
2 minutes each.
Alright? Are we cool with that? Now, anybody who raised their hand first, I will come up to you and I will hand you the microphone. I don't want anybody to say, oh, I raised my hand first, why she's going up or why he's going up. Please, respect one another, please. Okay? Anybody who has the first question? Yeah, I'm going down. I'm going down the line. No, I'm going down the line. Okay? Ready? Candidate number 1. Anybody got a question for candidate number 1?
Who is number?
Hey, go ahead. That's a general question. Okay, Marcy.
You had said that there is a lot of lawsuits. I am not familiar with the lawsuits that are currently going on or have been going on. I'd like to know how much money has been paid on lawsuits and attorney fees. That's one. No. Okay. Okay. Wait a second, just a moment. And the second one is, I understand that there is $500,000 that was collected for this past year. Is that including apartments or, that have been sold? New owners coming in who have paid for the apartments.
I don't know the exact answer to either one of those because I'm not on the board right now. And I mentioned it because there's been documentation about a couple of different lawsuits. And I know that when I was on the board before, there were lawsuits that people had put in. There was the one with a guard. There was a couple other, I think one with someone falling down and hurting themselves. But these are years ago. So as it accumulates up, insurance companies look at like a 3-year, what we call experience period. And so if there are lots of lawsuits, lots of payouts, if things are brought against the board, people talk about, oh, I'll bring a lawsuit, there's a lawsuit pending right